Chapter 3. There was music from my neighbor's house. Through the summer nights. In his blue gardens, men and girls came and went like moths among a whispering champagne and stars. At high tide in the afternoon, I watched his guests diving from the tower of his raft, or taking in the sun and the hot sand of the beach, while two of his motorboats split the water's sides and sounds, drawing aquaplanes over the cataracts of form. On weekends, his Rolls Royce became an omnibus bearing parties to and from the city between 9 in the morning and long past midnight, while his station wagon scampered like a brisk yellow bug to meet all the trains. And on Mondays, 8 servants, including an extra gardener, toiled all day with mops, scrubbers, and brushes, and hammers, and garden shears, repairing the ravage from the night before. Every Friday, 5 crates of oranges and lemons arrived from a fruitaire in New York. Every Monday, these same oranges and lemons left the back door in a pyramid of pulp and halves. There was a machine in his kitchen that could extract juice from them. 200 oranges, 200 lemons, just like that, like a button was pressed 200 times on a butler's thumb. At least once a fortnight. Bruce, get over here.
Stop. You can't eat that. No. You're being such a bad little kitty. You're a bad. You want to read with me? We're reading from my album. Do you want to read? Do you like The Great Gatsby? Okay, here. Sit here with me, sweetie. No. Okay, ready? At least once a fortnight, read it. The corpse of caretakers came down with several hundred feet of canvas and enough colored... No, you can't read that. Lights to make Christmas tree and Gatsby's enormous garden, or buffet, and tables, garnishing and glistening hors d'oeuvres, spiced big ham, crowded against salads of harlequin design and pastry pigs, and turkeys, bewitched to a dark gold. In the main hall, a bar with a real brass rail was set up, and stocked with gins and liquors, with cordials so long forgotten. Most of the female guests were too young to know one from the other anyway. By 7 o'clock, the orchestra had arrived. No thin 5-piece affair, but a whole pitful of oboes and tambourines, and pretty much every instrument you can imagine. Gatsby had the money for it, as well as the ears. Saxophone, violas, cornets, piccolos, and low and high drums. The last swimmers had come from the beach now, and are dressed upstairs. The cars from New York are parked in the 5-deep driveway, already in the hall, and salons and Vernadaz are clad in their primary colors in the hair. Oh my God, I'm gonna kill you. Stop trying to eat that. No, you're being so difficult. I'm trying to do something, and you keep ruining it. Oh, don't look at me like that. It's okay. I'm not actually mad at you. I'll just use this recording. I don't care. It's kind of funny that I'm talking to you. Oh, yeah. Why are you squeaking?
Oh, Moosey, I love you.
All right. Bye.
I'm sorry. Where were we? Oh, yes. The bar is full in swing, and floating rounds of cocktails permitted by the garden outside until the air is alive with chatter and laughter and casual innuendos and introductions, forgotten on the spot, enthusiastic meetings between women who never knew each other's names otherwise. The lights grow brighter at the earth's lunch away from the sun, and now the orchestra is playing yellow cocktail music, and the opera's voices pitches are higher and higher in key. Laughter is easier. minute by minute, tipped out as a cheerful world. The groups change more swiftly, swell, new arrivals that dissolve and form into the same breath. Already there are wanderers, confident girls who weave their way among the men, become sharp, a joyous movement, the center of a group. Suddenly, one of these gypsies is trembling opal, seizes a cocktail out of the air, dumps it down for courage, and moves her hands like Frisco dances out along the canvas platform. A monetary hush, the orchestra leader varies his rhythm for her, and there is a burst of chatter. The party has begun. No follies. I believe this is the first night I went to Gatsby's house. I was one of the few guests who had actually been invited. People were not often invited to these. They just were there. They got into automobiles, which drove them to Long Island, and somehow ended up at Gatsby's door, almost as if by accident. Once they were introduced by somebody who knew Gatsby, and after that, they conducted themselves accordingly to the rules, his rules of behavior, association, and amusement. Sometimes they came and went, having not met Gatsby at all. Came multiple times and hadn't met Gatsby at all. Came for the party with simplicity in their hearts, being their only needed ticket of admission. I had actually been invited. A chauffeur in a uniform of robin's egg blue crossed my... Oh my God, why are you doing this? Get all my hair.
Why do you want to rip down my poster so badly? Okay, first you wanted to eat the piece of tape. Now you're trying to destroy my lovely posters. You are the most difficult little kitty. No, I'm going to hold you and we're going to read this. I had actually been invited, the Robin's Egg Blue. Yes, you love The Great Gatsby. I know you do. All right. Ow. No, okay. Come on. You made me lose my page. Darn it, Moose. Oh, you're a troublemaker. Well, you know what? I lost the page. We're just going to start randomly.
He's a bootlegger, said the young ladies, moving somewhere between his cocktails and his flowers. One time he killed a man who had found out he was a nephew of the von Hindenburgs and second cousin of the devil. Reach me a rose, honey, and pour me the last drop of crystal glass. Please, I beg of you. Once I wrote down on the empty space on the timetables the names of those who had been at Gatsby's house this summer. It is an old timetable now, disintegrating as it folded ahead. The scheduled effective July 5th, 1922. But I can still read the gray names that have been embedded into the paper at this point. They will give you a better impression of my generalizations than my simple words ever could. And those who accept Gatsby's hospitality have paid him the subtle tribute of knowing nothing, whatever, about him. From East Egg, they came from Trickers, and the Leeches, and the names named Brunson, whom at Yale and Dr. Weber, blah, 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 chapter 4, page 66. We're gonna skip around again. Excellent. He had any other home, or theatrical people that were Gus Ways and Horrence of Donovan. Benny McCronin arrived, always with 4 girls. They never were quite the same ones. At least, physical persons. There was always 4 of them. But they were so identical that inadvertently you called them by the same names. I had forgotten their names. Jacqueline, I think? Either that or Consuela or Gloria or Judy or June or... I don't know. I'm not even going to try on their last names, honestly. In addition to all of these, I can remember that Fushatina O'Brien came there at least once with the Bacadere girl. All of these people came to Gatsby's house in the summer at 9 o'clock one morning. In July, Gatsby's gorgeous car lurched into the rocky driveway to my door and gave out a burst of melody from its three-noted horn. It was the first time he called me himself. I'd gone to 2 of his parties, mounted in his hydroplane, and his urgent invitation made frequent use of his beach. "Good morning, old sport. You're having lunch with me today, yes? And I thought we'd ride up together." He was balancing himself on the dashboard of his car with the resourcefulness of a movement so peculiarly American. That comes, I suppose, with the absence of lifting work or rigid sitting in youth, and even more with the formless grace of our nervous sporadic games. This quality was continually breaking through the publishing manner in the shape of resentlessness. He was never quite still. They were always tapping a foot on the moving of fingers or the impatient opening of a closed hand. He saw me looking in admiration at his car. "It's pretty, isn't it, old sport?" He jumped off and gave me a vivid view. "Haven't you ever seen it before?" I'd seen it. Everybody had seen it. Everybody. It was a rich cream color, bright with nickel, swollen here, and there was monstrous length with the triumphant hat boxes and super boxes and every other kind of boxes and toolboxes and trenches and labrets and windshields and mere dozen suns. Sitting down behind the many layers of glass sought the green leather. Conservative, I thought. We started into town.